the landscape of the skills needed will change in 5 years, in 10 years. We will not stop to learn ever. On ProjectPro, generally you can see more something like let's say, real world thing, what you will do on the job. So you have the code, the theory, but also more about the context and why some things are done in the way they're done.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another expert session. Today, we have with us our expert, Amedeo Biolatti. He joins us today from Italy. Amedeo, welcome to ProjectPro, and thank you so much for doing this interview with us today.
Thank you to you, Pragyan. I am Amedeo, and I work in Milan, Italy, at Swiss Re, a reinsurance company, as a data scientist. I have also a few years of experience in the fashion and in the banking industries, and I've been working on a few different things, but mainly optimization and deep learning for different companies.
Oh, that's a beautiful introduction to yourself, Amedeo. It's lovely to have you today.
Thank you.
Amedeo, now that you've been associated with ProjectPro, I want to understand what is your philosophy on the practical approach to learning?
I think that the best approach is iterative one, when one can go at first to take a look at the theory, understand the basic ideas, and then put it in practice quite quickly. So without having to spend months and months on theory without any application, but where one can maybe spend a couple of days on the theory, then a couple of days in implementation, and iterate again and again till you gain better expertise on something. So you have both the theory and the practice.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. Amedeo, you mentioned you have, from your experience, you're a fairly experienced data scientist. And you are using platform like Kaggle, you're using GitHub. And on the other hand, you see a platform like ProjectPro, which is an upcoming platform. How would you differentiate between, say, Kaggle, GitHub, and ProjectPro?
Well, let's say they are quite different. GitHub is more like a tool. The useful tool for a few things is an empty container. So if you look at something on GitHub, you are missing the general context sometimes. So if you don't really know what this is about, you're missing why they're building this. Maybe there is some description, but generally it's just a few lines. So it's very about the content. It's really about having a useful container with a few tools to manage the content. Kaggle is a nice place to experiment and share ideas on different things. So it's a useful place to be. Nice, you can learn nice things, but it's quite far from the real world. While on ProjectPro, generally you can see more something like let's say, real world thing, what you will do on the job. So you have the code, the theory, but also more about the context and why some things are done in the way they're done. So you have, let's say, something that is more like what you will do in a job, and not just like some code without anything else, or an experiment with just, let's say, the sport part of the data science. That is still useful, but it's just one part of the world.
Got it, got it. Yeah, makes sense, makes sense. So, I mean, you worked over years across industries. Which part of a development cycle you personally find the most challenging in data science?
Let's say there are different kinds of challenging, so different parts are different. But in general, it's possible for the technical part to have an approach where you fail forward. So in the technical part of a data science project, generally you can start from something easy and then improve. So it's difficult to completely fail. What you can completely fail, and sometimes is what takes you back, is the understanding of the needs of the business problem. And if you don't understand that, you will completely fail the mission of your project. So I'd say communication and the understanding with the, either the customer or the business part of the company, or that part of the project.
Got it. Got it. As an expert working at ProjectPro, now one key part of our product is the reusability of projects. And since you're creating these projects with ProjectPro, who do you think can reuse these projects, and how much time something like this could save for a user?
If I think at someone with not specific expertise on something, so maybe someone that has general understanding of data science but not expert or of a specific field, and we are measuring it in human time, so the most limited one, I'd say something around the 30–40%. If they don't know where to go to look for the things, and they can simply have something that works from the start, so they can start from something that works, and then they can maybe improve it, change it, adapt it to their specific case, but they can start from something that works out of the box. So I'd say I put it in the 30% of the implementation time.
Got it. And now the next question that I'm going to ask you, it generally comes from our users. This is a very favorite question among our users. Now on our platform, we roughly have around 250 projects, 253 projects right now. But one very key question that we get from our users is, why do I need those 250 projects? Why not just 2? Why not just 3? So do you think it is helpful to, for our users to get access to an entire library of 250 plus projects?
Let's be honest, data science is very big, is a huge field with many different applications. So with 2 or 3 projects, you will have, let's say, you can learn how to code in Python, but then you have to start from scratch again. With 200 or more projects, probably you can find one that is clearly not 100% the same, but is something that you can start from, and you can be confident that maybe 90–95% of the code will be the same. And you can just, let's say, put the correct data inside, do a couple of things, and have something that works. And then from that, you can start and maybe improve it for your use case. But you can have something that is quite closer to what you want to start from.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. And when you are guiding software developers, data scientists, what strategy have you found works the best to guide them? Let's say
at the start of my career, I often tried to solve a problem in a big leap forward. So just jumping to the final solution in one big step without middle ground, without middle steps. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But when it doesn't, you fail big. You don't have a way to recover. And so you need to try again from the start. Yeah. But with more experience, I learned that generally it's a better idea to start from something that is maybe even naive, something that is just like the, let's say, for a model, the global average, something very basic, very easy to do, but that complete the job. So maybe a very simple model, a very simple analysis, simply that takes the data in as an input and give the results in the correct format. And then we can start to improve on that. So we have something that we can test, we can see, because maybe also when we see the final output, we understand, oh, we don't need that, we need these other things. So we can update it, and we have a fast iteration improvement over what we already have. So I'd say the first thing I will do in a project generally is try to build something even easy, even naive, as I said, but that takes us from the start and give us the final results without having any, let's say, thing that we don't see how it's going. And then we can clearly improve, change, evolve things. But we need to start from something that do the job.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Makes sense. Also, today, when you are interviewing for candidates for a data scientist role, Amedeo, what are the few key things you look for in a candidate when you're interviewing them?
Let's say the most important things are the, let's say, basic skills. So someone that know a little how to code, know a little of math, and can have the right mindset to reason, but also the ability to learn. So I don't generally care about this specific coding language or this specific model, etc. So if someone don't know Python but do know R, it's nice. Okay, you have time to learn another language, another library, another model. You need to have the basics because it's the hardest thing to teach you on the job.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can code in any language, it's okay. If you know how to, let's say, you know, algebra and a few math, is okay because it's hard to teach you this on the job. If you know a couple of models, good. Probably it's better to know a couple of models well than maybe models not so well. Mm-hmm. And then the ability to learn and reason, because say you have always time to learn new things, even if you are a senior figure. Also, mm-hmm. For me, that I have a few years of experience, I learn new things every day on the job. It's normal. That's happened for everybody. As we say, data science is a huge field, and you will learn new things even in 10 years from now. So it doesn't really matter if you don't know this particular thing. It matters you can reason about. Maybe even if there is something that you don't know during an interview, mm-hmm. Try to demonstrate that you can, even if you don't know the details, maybe you can reason about, you can make some connection with other things you do. And so sometimes they say also incorrect answer, but with a good reasoning can count as well as a correct answer.
Got it. So as long as they have the bare minimum basics and the willingness to learn, on the job learning will keep on happening.
Yeah, let's say clearly also depend on the figure we are looking for. Maybe if we are looking on someone expert on one specific thing, we will care about the specific thing. But in general, for more junior positions, we care about the mindset and that kind of things more than about any specific ability. So focus on the ability to learn and the capability to reason about new things, because also let's say the landscape of the skills needed will change in 5 years, in 10 years. We will not stop to learn ever now more than in the past.
Yeah, I think you've said a very key thing here. The ability to learn and the capability to reason is very, very important for any
I'd say
person.
In any fields, I think, especially today, with a good amount of innovation going on every day, these are the first two things you need for any kind of job.
Yeah, makes sense. So how do you as a learner, you mentioned data science is a very fast growing and a very vast developing field. So how do you as a learner stay up to date with the latest trends in the industry?
Let's say I look at many different things because there is no simply one place where you can find everything. I follow a few blogs. I follow a few YouTubers that maybe make some explanation or something. I go to read the papers that go out on a new conference. So if a new conference go out, I go to read maybe the title of the papers that are too many, and then maybe 2 or 3 papers that I found more interesting. And then I go to look at a few learning platform to see if there is some new code, if there is something that maybe I already know, but I need a refresh because maybe I didn't use in a while, or something else that I want to learn. So I'd say the best thing to be up to date is to have many places where you go to look what's going on the field.
Got it. So after many years of experience also, you still refer to the blogs, you still go and look upon YouTube.
Yeah, Yes.
What
Of
is
course.
one thing you wish you knew, young Amedeo knew before he stepped into the field of data science, before you started? What were the few things you wished you knew?
Let's say probably the thing that I would explain to the younger myself is that the field is bigger than I expected, and it changed faster than I expected. So maybe just after the university, I had the feeling that I was, let's say, at 70% of things I needed to learn to know everything about the field, but in reality, it was more or less 0.7% of things. This is not to worry anybody, because you will never need 100% of everything to be, let's say, productive or even be an expert on something. So the thing I probably will say to myself is to go do things, experiment, and try. Don't worry if you don't know everything. You will learn what you need on the job while you do the things. But keep going, and things will go nicely.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. And thank you so much, Amedeo, for doing this with us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
It was a pleasure also for me. Thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm sure our viewers are going to enjoy this interview very much, and they'll very soon get to see your project as well.
Thank you. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much.